Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Katrina Marie, and I'm here to make sure that you become the very best possible applicant before you click submit. And today I'm going to be talking to you parents. That's right, I'm coming for you. It is that time of the year. Summer is almost over and we are getting ready to go back to school, and you might have a student who is getting ready to apply to college. But before we get started, I hope that you subscribe to my channel and that you like my videos and my content and you share with those that you love and care about and that need to hear this message, because without you, this channel cannot grow. Let's get started on today's topic. Okay, how can you help your child apply to college? This is the question I get from pretty much every parent that I've ever worked with, because they know that it is a time in their child's life that can feel a bit overwhelming, a bit confusing. They don't know where to start. And as a parent, you feel morally responsible to help. Let's just put it that way. You feel like this is your obligation. And also maybe you want to just have control still of the situation. As your student's getting ready to make young adult decisions, you want to be a part of that decision-making process. And so let's just jump into some of the points I want to talk about today. Number one, discuss realistic expectations about what you want and what they want. Guys are not communicating, there will be probably no communication at the end of all this, because it is so important that you guys are on the same page and that there is compromise, especially if your son or daughter is interested in pursuing a certain career, but maybe you're not sure about it and you like them to pursue something else. Find some compromise. Maybe you allow them to apply to a couple schools with a certain major that they want and they apply to some other schools that you want. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you just want them to be happy and pursue anything that interests them. Again, make sure that you set the realistic expectations about what it is that you want and what it is that they want. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones going to school. At the end of the day, they're the ones sitting in the class, taking the exams, having to study, go day after day. So let's be realistic. Like, you're not the one doing it. So I know that you might be funding it, but I think it's also important and fair to also allow them to have some say in this process, especially since this is what they plan to do, hopefully, for the rest of their lives. So I know that you want to give them the right guidance, but it is also an opportunity for them to start learning how to make young adult decisions. Number two, review the entry requirements together. Again, this is all about communication. This should not be you doing the research. It should be a collective effort. At the end of the day, I always encourage the student to do the research, because if they're not doing the research, in my opinion, they should not be going to college. So encourage the research and the process to be done together, that you look at the entry requirements, that you are clear on what the school is asking of you. And so you guys have a game plan of what it is that you need to do over the coming months. Number three, do not, and I repeat, do not fill out the application for your son or daughter. This is their responsibility. You can sit right next to them. You can watch what they put in. Actually, I encourage that, because they may have certain questions on the application that your son or daughter may not know how to answer. But at the end of the day, it is their responsibility as they are becoming a young adult to fill out the application. Okay? The other thing I want you to be aware of is, do not write their essay. Yes, you can help them. You can help them brainstorm. You can let them read it to you and give them some feedback. And of course, they're your son or daughter. You love them. You think whatever they do is usually wonderful. But I encourage you to not write their essays. This is their opportunity to find their voice. This is their opportunity to share who they are and who they plan to become and what their aspirations are, what their goals are. It is not your opportunity to do those things. So again, please do not fill out the application and please do not write their essays, but you can be a part of that process, okay? Like I said, I encourage that step, tremendously encourage it. The next one, number four, is make a plan on your application timeline. Depending on where you're applying to college in the world or university, there are different deadlines and there are different parts of the application that need to be submitted or you need to pay attention to. So make sure that you are creating a timeline starting now, usually prior to your senior year or your final year of school. And make a timeline about all these upcoming deadlines that you would like to meet and all the steps that you need to take in order to feel like you are a successful applicant. Number five, check in with your students' teachers. because again, students are still teenagers. They're children. They sometimes just need accountability just to make sure that they are still on the right track. That doesn't mean you need to check in on every single thing that they're doing, but just check in from time to time, attend those parent teacher conferences, send those emails just to make sure that all assignments have been submitted to your student's best ability. Communicate if your student cannot attend class, especially if it's a really difficult class like an AP class or IB subjects or A levels, like you want to communicate always to the teacher. Number 6, it's important that you discuss financial costs. Okay. Colleges and universities, depending on where you apply, it can be pretty expensive. And so it's important that you have that conversation with your student. As you get ready to apply, just know that every application usually has a fee. So if you are applying to 10 universities and each application costs $100, well, you're going to be spending about $1,000 and you haven't even gotten in anywhere. So it's important that you discuss the expectations of what you're willing to pay for tuition, for books, cost of living, even applying. So that could make a big impact on where you decide to apply and how many schools you apply to and where you put your focus and energy into. So it's important to have that discussion early on. It's also important to discuss scholarship opportunities and if you need to take out student loans. I do have a video on most of these topics and the points that I am mentioning. So make sure that you check out my other videos to help you get some inspiration and ideas about how to have these conversations. Last but certainly not least, it's important to have and give your child emotional support. And also give yourself some emotional support, because if this is your first time going through this process of applying to college, or maybe it's not your first time, maybe this is your second or third child, it's important to check in, see how they're doing, see how you can help them relating to the points I mentioned above. But it is an emotional process, so it's important to check in on their well-being. And if you are not able to do any of these things, maybe you are a working parent, maybe you just don't feel confident in some of these steps mentioned above, but you're that kind of person that wants the best for your son or daughter, I encourage you to seek help in terms of getting a college counselor or a mentor or somebody that can give them the guidance that they need. There are free resources out there. There's YouTube channels, there's high school counselors, there's private counselors. All of these things can contribute to your child's success, and there is no right or wrong option. It's just whatever option feels right for you and whatever you feel is going to help your son or daughter become, like I said, the best possible applicant before they click submit. So I hope that these tips have helped you. I hope you feel a little bit more at ease about helping your son or daughter start this process and apply to college. And if you have any questions, my email is attached down below. My Instagram account is also there. If you need to get in touch with me, make sure that you leave a comment, and I look forward to catching you all on the next video.